What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 48 of Edcast with John Egger. I'm sitting here with my good friend, the one, the only Isaac Hill. How you doing?
Yo, what's good?
What's up? We just
Nothing
been
much.
we just been chilling, talking. We were talking a little Minecraft. I'm trying to get back on. Isaac, what's your first of all? Because you said you live stream Minecraft. What's your Twitch login or whatever or like link?
I don't really do it. I mean, I did it on YouTube once, and I did it on like Twitter once. So like, I have like both the things for Periscope and YouTube. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I got
It's
you.
not really like that deep.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
It's just like
whatever.
a
I
fun
might
thing.
share it like on Twitter every now and again. My Twitter's Isaac Joseph JPEG.
Okay,
Like,
cool. Yeah, everybody make sure to go follow Isaac Joseph JPEG if
yeah.
you're patiently awaiting for new Minecraft content. Comment,
Or
let
just like
let
really
let
bad jokes.
yeah. Dude, that's my Twitter. My Twitter's like I'll just like get a thought sometimes and I'll like say to like my girlfriend or something. I'll be like, that's like I'll like say it and like be like excited about it. And I'll be like, I'm gonna tweet that, and then I'll tweet it and like two people like it from like
Wait, the other day I said something. What did I say? I said something about, oh shit, now I can't find it. See, I just like I built myself up and now I'm just like I can't.
it's all good, it's all good.
Where is it? I said something
Excuse me.
about animals, lucid dream. No. Okay, so I said animals and zoos lack the tools necessary to achieve enlightenment, and then I said I thought this was cool and philosophical, but it's just a lie because I lied down on the internet. Because that orangutan definitely has experienced nirvana. I don't know
Probably,
what's that
yeah.
about. I don't know what that's about, but it's on my Twitter, so that's the kind of content that you'll receive if you follow me.
I feel like if you did acid or something and then you went to the zoo, the orangutans would start having conversations with you.
I
You
would
know, like
love to
they're
talk to an orangutan.
they're definitely like they're definitely the closest behind humans that are like on their way to spoken language. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, dude. I mean, I feel like they're definitely like very. They have like a lot of wisdom. Same
Yeah.
with they're up there with like elephants, but like orangutan specifically.
Yeah, yeah. Elephants are beautiful creatures,
I
man.
love elephants.
Very smart. Did you see that? Did you see that? There's a picture on Instagram of these elephants that got into like this like wine orchard or something, or
Oh damn.
they got into something and then they like got drunk and like
Yeah,
fell
yeah,
asleep.
yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
got
I saw
drunk and
that.
fell asleep in the orchard. Yeah, that was awesome.
Damn.
Damn, you gotta
They're
watch.
really fucking living.
I know they're just out there vibing
Yeah.
like multi-thousand-pound creatures just out there getting
Okay,
drunk.
but seriously, do you think that animals in zoos do they have the tools necessary to achieve enlightenment? Like by just sitting in like a very
It's
confined area that's controlled by other people, but
they're
then
definitely not.
also
Yeah, they're
monks
definitely.
just like hang out in temples though. So like I don't.
Yeah, but the monks are there under their own will. The animals are there
Yeah.
against their will. You know, it's that like being an animal in a modern zoo is like being a prisoner.
But the thing is, they don't know anything different. You know,
That is
like
true. That is
if
true.
if that's all that you've ever known and you don't know about anything that's on the outside, like could you still.
Well, I think there's a difference between the mama orca whale that gets stolen out of the ocean and the baby that's born in the tank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you're born and that's all you know, it's probably sure. I mean, all their natural like not all their instincts are taken away, but like they don't get really a place to practice their natural hunting instincts or things like that. That's why my cats. I have two cats named Pinga and Nacho,
I
and
love that.
they go. Pinga is the name for the Inuit goddess of the hunt, which is
Ooh.
very fitting because she's a fucking killer. Like this little monster goes out there and brings back like rabbits, squirrels, things like that. And it's like it's messed up. Like but like at the same time, like I'm still happy that she gets to practice her natural instincts. You know?
Yesterday I was on a walk and I saw these two like I don't know if they were vultures. Like you know how we have like turkey vultures around here?
Yeah,
Or, like I don't know if they're vultures or hawks or what, but there was like a dead possum on the side of the road and they were just tearing this motherfucker up.
yeah,
Like it was terrifying. I was just like they stopped because I was walking past because I was just gonna keep on walking. Like it's my sidewalk too.
yeah, yeah.
And
Exactly.
I, And so I just kept walking, and they like went up on the fence. And these are like really huge birds, and I just like
Yeah,
looked into their eyes. They looked dead, and I'm just like, this is terrifying. This
yeah,
possum is just like,
yeah. They're just like, this is the shit we do. We come in and clean up.
exactly.
I saw, I dude, ever since coronavirus, like ever since people have been like not going outside, the earth has been thriving, and I'm here for it. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
I walk outside and like I could see how people would be pissed because like I live in like a condo area and like all the shit is overgrown, all the but like everyone hates it, but I'm like so happy. Like I love seeing like big fucking piles of grass. And like the other day, my dad was out back and he called us out. There were 5 deer standing in my neighborhood, like
ooh,
right my room. There's it's like a little grass field if you go out there. Um, right back there, there were like 5 deer standing there, and then they all came around the side and like were running through our neighborhood. Like it's just so cool
damn.
to see wildlife like coming up close now that there's just so not so many people out and like things to scare them away, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've still been quarantining, like, I haven't seen any of my friends in, like, God knows how long. But
Yeah,
I've still been going for, like, walks every single day. That's part of my routine, It's like I got a couple of walks that I go on every single day and just sort of, like, meditate along them or, like, just think about stuff and just listen to music, just sort of help me relax or whatever.
yeah. There's nothing better than when you hit like that kind of like sunset time and just
Yeah,
like go out and just
exactly.
walk, fucking get stoned, take a. You know what I've been doing? I've been getting stoned, and then I'll tie on my hockey skates and I skate around the fucking. I
Oh,
skate around fucking the golf course. The golf
ooh,
course is open now, so now you can't go back. But like the Valley Brook golf course, I would just skate around there and just like sun's coming down, fucking orange sky. I'm
yeah,
stoned to the gills, playing like Paramore's first album or just some shit
dude.
in my headphones and just like having a great time.
Dude, my favorite thing, I've been really big into skateboarding since I was in like middle school. But like the thing is, I myself, I'm shit. I'm so bad at skateboarding. But I've made it sort of my goal for quarantine to sort of like actually learn how to do some tricks and stuff, Because
Yeah,
like I've been
yeah.
able to cruise for like ever since, I don't know. I broke my ankle in like seventh grade when I was skateboarding because I hit a rock.
Damn, that sucks.
But like
But
I've always
you have good balance. Like you can ride it. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I've always been super like consumed by like skate culture. Like I love the
Yeah,
photography. Like it's my ultimate dream goal and job to just like be like a skate photographer for like a magazine like Thrasher or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
Because like I know so much about it, but like I just can't get everything to sort of like like translate into my body. But I've
yeah,
also been
yeah.
working with my therapist to sort of turn it into like a therapeutic experience.
Cool.
'Cause each time I'm like trying to like teach myself how to like be okay with the idea of falling. I'm taking my time with it. I'm trying to be okay with the fact that it's taking me a much longer time to learn these things than it would other people.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to relate it
Absolutely.
to like the other things that I'm going through and just sort of progressing.
That's the thing, man, is that some things in life you're gonna have to work 10 times as hard as other people to even get half as far as they do. But it's not about looking at other people, you know, it's about looking at where you were the day before and looking at where or the month before, the week, year, and then looking where you are now and being like, hey, now's better than then, so it's okay, you know?
Yeah,
It's like we get
exactly. Like
so especially I don't no, you go ahead.
it's all good.
I keep cutting people off.
It's all good. Like I started off at the beginning of quarantine, and I was just like, I was practicing ollies in the grapple because I was too scared that I was gonna fall if I even tried to do it on the pavement. And so I got
Yeah.
him down in the gravel, and then I was like, okay, I'm tired of being a pussy. I'm gonna like go to the pavement, and I'm like, I'm struggling getting it stationary, but I finally managed to do it with like. But it helps so much to have someone else to like sort of hype you up.
Yeah, yeah.
Who like knows what's going on. So like having somebody else there, it's just like, oh, like I'm less afraid of falling. I'm like I have somebody else watching me who can tell me like what I'm doing wrong. And then
Yeah.
like I start to feel more comfortable coming out of my comfort zone and trying new things. And I managed to get it rolling yesterday. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
progress.
I've heard shit about skating that like most tricks are actually easier to get rolling than stationary,
Yeah,
but
facts.
people are just like you're worried about falling when you're rolling because it's like a lot going on at once, you know, and
It's
you're trying
just
to
so much
learn something
commitment.
new. Yeah, you have to commit fully. It's like anything, man. Like I think the same is like for example, I don't know if you knew this, but back in November, I did my first ever stand-up comedy gig,
Oh, word.
and
Good for you, man.
thanks, yeah, and I did my last bit, and the last little bit at the end, I felt like it could have been good, but like I didn't completely like like I feel like I didn't completely commit to it because I was like almost a little embarrassed because it was just like I was doing like an act, like a character
Hmm.
type of act, and it was just like wacky. But I thought to myself like that probably would have worked better if you would have really, really committed to it. And it's like the same thing with like I mean I was never much of a skater, but like I did some biking back in high
Hmm.
school, and like I have a bunch of buddies who are into it, and like I mean it's that's the thing. If you don't commit, you're either not going to get it or you're going to get yourself hurt. You know, like
And
I
I
have a
mean, that in and of itself is a therapeutic experience. Like whether it is stand-up comedy or whether it's skateboarding, just like trying to get yourself to commit even when there is that risk of failure. Like
absolutely. It was
just
so
practicing that. You got to practice.
yeah, for real.
It's like everything else in life.
That's why like right now, I mean, there is no comedy going on because, gatherings are prohibited and all this stuff, but like I spent so much time before I even did that like contemplating it, but not really thinking about it because I just didn't really know if it was like the direction. Like I've always known I've been a comedy fan, and I love making people laugh. And like there's
Hmm.
nothing better than just making a group of people laugh. But like when I was like such a pussy because I was so afraid like I was so afraid to go up there and bomb and that like when I finally did it and I was walking up to the stage, it's like all this hype up. I felt so scared, so pins and needles. But you know what? That fear made me get even if my routine wasn't that great, the routine that I had, I was just nervous about remembering what to say when I was going up
Hmm.
there. So like that fear made me get my routine down, tighten it up, go over it fucking 100 times, just really really remember it. And then once I hit the stage, it was like it was fine. Like
Yeah.
I was so nervous before my first punchline, but then even though I don't when I look back, I don't even think the comedy itself was that great. And it's like that's the thing is like you're always gonna move. Same thing with skateboarding. You're gonna ollie and be like that's fucking sick. And then in a year you might watch that and be like, oh,
Yeah,
who gives a fuck?
exactly.
Like but you're gonna move on to other shit. But like when I first said that punchline and it hit where it was supposed to hit, it was like like as soon as I felt that, I was like, oh shit, this is fine. Like
Hmm.
and it's like now I've just been itching to get back. Like I haven't been doing a ton of writing, but I've been trying to write some new shit. And it's like as soon as they reopen up clubs and stuff, I'm just gonna try to hit up all Philly open mics, things like that, and like just keep moving with it. But yeah, it kind of does relate. It definitely relates to like the whole analogy with skateboarding because that like there's a like what I'm talking about is like maybe a little bit of public embarrassment or humiliation, but skateboarding you could fucking hurt yourself
Yeah.
if you take a wrong step or something,
I mean, there's not so much risk when you're doing like basic tricks like an ollie or like a manual or some shit like that. But when it comes to like tray flipping a seven stair,
Yeah,
that's a bit more. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely the best time to be like working on your creative content. I mean, I've been trying to do that too. I mean, like I said, I really want to try getting my shit out there and start like a skateboarding magazine or something like that and do some more like photography and work on my own stuff. So, I mean, I came up with a couple of designs. Like, I found this website. I'm gonna try and like start selling my designs and maybe come up with a
yeah.
website or something like that. But I'm gonna try and just do what I can while we're in quarantine. Because by the time we get out of it, then maybe I can make some money off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, Isaac is an excellent artist, excellent cartoonist. So like you could definitely, like
I do
you
appreciate
could
it.
you could absolutely design like design some, like mock-ups for like a logo, a brand, and like just move like that.
I just need someone to, gift me Photoshop or just, bless me with a copy of Photoshop that they just happened to find on an empty flash drive.
Yeah.
They just happen. It just appeared. It just happened to be there.
You can't pirate that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah, yeah. I
I'm
mean,
just,
I heard,
I don't
yeah.
know. The
Yeah,
government's listening. The government's always listening.
yeah, yeah. Government people, if you're listening to this,
I just found
you're
it on an empty flash drive, and I was like, "Oh, hey, there's a free copy of Adobe Photoshop."
yeah, someone just handing it along. But also you got to think it's like even if that shit is pricey as hell and it's really like it's gonna give you a temporary hit to get it, like you got to think those resources will pay you back, you know, not only in money but just in like in in
Friend,
being able to do what you want to do.
my
You know what I'm
friend,
saying?
my friend, my friend. I literally just like when I moved out, I lost almost everything, bro.
Yeah,
Like I got no savings, I got nothing. So I'm just like
I feel you. I feel you.
it's
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 tough.
it's just like I
It's tough
understand
out
what
here
you're
for a fan.
saying, and I understand that you're saying like yes, it is a good investment, but like when I'm literally like not even making enough money in my basic retail job to have a savings, you know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. You just got to start with what
sometimes
you
it's not
got.
possible. So I just
You're
got to
right.
start from the bottom with like with what I can get and then work
Move.
my way up.
Yeah, yeah. Move slowly.
Yeah.
Are you still so is your retail job still operating, or I guess
No,
I'm
I
not.
mean I work at Columbia, so I just
Okay.
sell like sportswear at the outlets. It's pretty fun. I love my coworkers. I'm not very
Nice.
good at selling sportswear, but it's a fun time.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys make commission there for like what you do?
Nah, it's all just basic retail stuff. I
Just like
mean,
just the hourly stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I'm lucky that I'm still getting paid like during this whole catastrophe that's going on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's still reduced, and it's annoying because I was about to get more hours, but then this all this happened. So they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll just give you a paycheck based on what you've been working for the past 4 weeks," and I'm like, "I was supposed to get more.
Yeah, yeah. So wait,
Please
they're
give me more money."
so their company is paying, like Columbia is paying you guys out of pocket,
I guess
like
so.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool with them. Shout out to them.
yeah.
Because most companies are
Columbia's
just
not bad.
yeah, most companies. I mean, I work for kind of like an independent company, so I don't know if they really have like the bread to be doing that, you know.
Yeah.
But most companies, even chains, like for example, my girlfriend is a server for a restaurant chain, and they were like, yeah, file for unemployment, but like it's like y'all could probably fucking help your workers out a little bit, you know.
Exactly. I mean,
But
the corporations definitely
they're
can. I just don't
they're
understand why,
what
like,
they're what make you work, you know. Like
exactly.
workers are what make the shit work, you know. As
Like
many
Amazon asking for donations to help with like COVID relief when Jeff Bezos is like one of the richest men in the world just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's
Like,
absolutely
you don't need
ridiculous.
to ask for donations when you have the money readily available. That's literally just sitting there. Like, nobody's doing anything with it. It just
Yeah, yeah.
exists.
Yeah, for
It's just a
real.
status.
Yeah, it really is. It really is just to climb to the top, you know? Like
I
and
stand
that
by what I said earlier. Money isn't real.
yeah, it's a construct, absolutely. We only make it worth what we make it worth, you know? And it's like that's the thing is like we exchange these skills and these services and these products and whatever for this currency, but I feel like the skill should be the current like I feel like we should be left to a barter system. And sure, I guess a barter system can't be chained worldwide through the internet through whatever because you would need currency to do that.
Mm,
But like it's just like it's fucked up like just the way that our system and like the way that we bring people up to you know move through the world has been negatively affected by our idea of money, you know,
yeah.
because it's not about like some people think that their whole career and livelihood is about money. Like your career should be like your passion, like your passion, you know. Maybe not everybody knows what their passion is, and maybe your passion isn't exactly career based. Like maybe you have a job that you like and you like all your coworkers, you love it. It's like you go to it all the time, but maybe your passion is just something that you know you still make a living wage from where you work, whatever. But like so maybe your passion is like what you do at home, and it's like you can be passionate about that. But it's so many people get caught up in that one track mind where they think like, oh, I just have to find whatever job makes the most money. The biggest thing I see this with is engineering students and
Hmm.
engineering because like I have friends who are still in it that you know don't like it. Apparently a lot of the people that are in it hate it, but they're smart kids, so they're it's someone made a good analogy in the last show I did a show with Manny. um he said they don't necessarily love engineering, but they love problem solving, you know.
Hmm.
And it's just like just to find something that they can do. But I was just using that as an example because I know so many people that are in it but don't like it. They don't feel fulfilled despite the accolades that they're making in the business world or career world, whatever. Excuse me.
God
And
bless.
thank you, thank you. and Yahweh, yeah, or what's it? It's Yeshua. What's that?
Yahweh is definitely one of them.
Yeah, yeah, the dude who drives the bus
Yeah, the
everywhere.
guy that drives the bus, Yeshua, Yeshua,
Yeah, it's something like
something
that.
like that.
But anyway, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll tell you at a later time. But uh, so many people get caught up in that like that mindset of, oh, I should just do this job because it makes the most money, and it's like a lot of them starting it and they feel unfulfilled, and then you have people who want to get out of it and move to something that makes them happier, and other people will come down on them. Like for example, my one friend um, dated his girlfriend for a long time, went to school to become an engineer. Uh, he ended up having a change of heart, and he wanted to pursue environmental science because like he's been an outdoorsman his whole life. You know, like fishing and wildlife is like a huge part of his life, and he wants to be like a game warden or like something like that. And his girlfriend that he was with was also going to school for engineering, and I think she was upset with him because she's like, oh, you're not going to make nearly as much money, and you're do this, blah blah blah. And first of all, I'm thinking, who? I don't care if you guys have been together for 100 fucking years. Who the fuck are you to try to like tell somebody how to live their life and like live vicariously through another person?
Exactly.
Like keep to your fucking self. I don't care. And it's
Mhm.
like, and also if you're really ride or die for that person, you're with them. Like you would support any. They could come up to you and be like, I want to be a fucking ice cream basket popcorn machine unicycle rider, fucking I don't know anything, and you'd be like I'm here, I'm with you, I'm with you on
Yeah.
this one. But
I mean, realistically, the wisdom that I gained the last time that I went to the psych ward, one of the nurses was telling me is like, realistically, you're gonna be going through like 6 or 7 occupations in your lifetime. Like you don't have
yeah,
to settle for just one. Like if whatever you feel like doing and like in deep in your heart, you should just go for it. And then if it doesn't work out, you're always gonna find something else. There's
yeah,
always going to be something else.
absolutely, there's always light ahead, and people get so, especially people our age, get so caught up in I mean now we're like 20. I don't know if are you 21 yet?
I just turned 21
Oh,
on last Thursday.
oh yeah, I think I said happy birthday to you. I got
Yeah.
such a bad fucking memory.
No, it's all
It's
good,
all
bro.
this shit. But yeah, happy belated birthday.
Thank
I am still
you.
I am still awaiting my 21st birthday. But
Dang.
like people that are around our age get so caught up in feeling, especially when you first are getting out of high school, because there's all this social pressure from teachers and other students about, oh, are you going to college? What do you want to do? And everyone's like, I don't fucking know what I want to do. Like, and like
Yeah.
we get
There's like
into.
this pressure to like know exactly like where you're gonna go, like what your plan is, like immediately. It's like you gotta just go with the flow sometimes. You gotta just let it
Absolutely.
let it come to you.
I am a big proprietor of the flow.
Yeah.
People don't even consider the flow sometimes. That's why people, when they're so stressed and they're so like just your life feels blocky, like when you wake up and you're having an anxious day, and like it's like you try to fill your day with things, and you get so worked up and overwhelmed about it that nothing happens. But when you
Hmm.
wake up and you realize that everything that exists is what's in front of you right now, and the moment is what is. That's when you have great days and you don't even think about it, because when
Exactly.
thinking, like, not saying that thinking is a bad thing in the sense of thinking and
No, not at
questioning
all.
and whatever, but like sometimes we think when we're not supposed to think.
Hmm. Like take this quarantine for example. I've been trying to use it in a sort of positive way because I know that otherwise I'm going to decline. Like there's
Yeah,
no way around it. So I've been really
absolutely.
deep into have you ever heard of Duncan Trussell and his podcast? Yeah. I've
Yeah.
been listening to the Duncan Trussell Family Hour, and I've been
did,
listening.
did you watch the Midnight
I
Gospel?
did watch the Midnight Gospel, and
Yeah, what
that's
did you
what got me
think?
into
did,
him.
did you
I
like it?
absolutely love it, and ever since I've just been really getting more into like mindfulness and like
Yeah,
meditation and trying to just like I don't know, because I've already been into it. I've been trying to keep some level of meditation practices, but like with my ADHD, it's kind of difficult to.
Yeah, it's difficult to stay in one place or stay
Yeah,
not even stay in one place physically, but just stay in one
mm,
place
mm,
like stay
exactly.
in one realm, like in one
Exactly.
thing.
And just like not letting my mind wander and like not giving myself that judgment if my mind does wander. But I mean, I've been practicing quite a lot, you know. And I mean, it's the same thing with skate. It's the same thing with every single thing in life. It just takes practice. You just got to keep going at it, and until one day you're just like, oh hey, that made a difference. It's like, oh hey, maybe that's not making a difference. Let's make a change. You know?
Yeah, yeah, totally. The biggest thing that I pulled from that, the Midnight Gospel, and like I listened to like pieces of the Family Hour. I tried listening. I fell asleep, but I was listening to the episode with his mom, like the full
Mm.
episode, and
Oh my god, that episode that got my heartstrings,
I
bro.
know that got me. Yeah, the craziest part was when they symbolized the like the basically like the cycle
Life
of
and death.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like and they went all the way from his mother dying to him birthing his mother, and then they just picked right up in the conversation. That shit had me
Yep.
weak. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I pulled from that, and it was that episode, was when his mom was speaking about really trying to feel the inside of your arms and legs.
Yes. Yeah.
That
I was talking to my therapist about that episode too. You know,
yeah,
it's a meditation practice that I'm already like pretty familiar with. I mean, it's a way of sort of grounding yourself. It's really helpful a lot with trauma survivors to practice dissociation during like a flashback or like not practice dissociation, practice like mindfulness during dissociation or a flashback or something, just to sort of bring yourself back to reality. So that's
yeah,
something that I'd practiced in the past, and it's like something that they might do is like 5 things that you can hear, like 5 things that you can smell, that you can taste, like using every single one of your senses,
yeah.
and just to sort of bring yourself into that present moment so that you can calm down a bit and just feel like more in your body.
Exactly, yeah, and you're when you take the time to focus on that moment and realize, hey, nothing. It's like no matter what I'm worrying about right now, from things that happened in my past or things that I'm worried about happening in the future, all that truly exists, like at right now, all that really does exist is what is right here. You
Hmm.
know, so it's like there shouldn't be external factors to stress you. It really comes down to going with the concept of going with the flow. Is that if you're truly going with the flow, you are here, and what what was back, or like the places you were before or will be, are like all that really is where you are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And like one of the mantras that I try to stick with when I'm like having a really bad like anxiety attack or something like that is that like I'm here and I'm safe, you know, and just repeating that over and over and over again until I try to get myself to believe it, you know. And I don't even have to just believe it because it is true. It's one of those things that is
Yeah,
true, especially if I'm doing it. I mean, I probably wouldn't do it if I wasn't safe, you know. It's like there's like
yeah, yeah.
a
Because
guy around the corner with a knife. It's like I'm here and I'm safe.
yeah, exactly. It's
That's
probably
not that's not gonna
not
help me out.
not the best time to meditate. You know.
No.
But I mean that's the biggest thing though, is like you're staying self-aware, because like even if you
Mhm.
have to tell, trust me, like if you saw I don't, I don't think you've ever seen my desk, but if you've seen the inside of my desk since 2017, late 2017, 2018, I've been writing like in Sharpie, all and burning it, and just bunch of, like I've been doing
Mhm.
shit all over to it. And it's like it's like when you write something down and put it there for you to see every day to remind yourself,
Mhm.
even if you don't really believe it, you'll eventually believe it, you know. And
It's like
that's
manifesting things.
absolutely, and it's affected me in negative and positive ways, because when I wasn't in such a great state of mind,
Mhm.
that would display on the desk. And sure, while that can make for some creativity, whatever, like something like some things in here would just be blatant. Like I would just call myself like an it, like you know,
Mhm.
I would just call myself like stupid, like blah blah blah, whatever. And it's like I realized at some point I'm like I know deep down, like at some point I got to realize that deep down, even if you think you believe those bad things about yourself, you really don't, because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we all love ourselves more than, and identify with ourselves more than any other person we know, like
Exactly.
subconsciously. So like I wasn't even really believing those things, and I was reading them every day and still presenting them to myself, where I got to the point I think it was more just for me being able to write that down and then one day see it and be like, that's not true, and be able
Mhm.
to change it, you know? And I think that was the biggest part of just being able to you brought up the concept of like saying like I'm here, I'm safe, saying something. For me, it was kind of
Mm.
writing something down, but being able to see that and know that I can either it is true and I can be aware of that, or it isn't true and I can be aware that it's not, you know?
And then another thing that you could always practice is that is positive self-talk. You know, like you always have that inner monologue. You're always talking to yourself, and I mean, like you're saying, like those negative things that you think about yourself. You might be like, "Oh, like I'm so stupid. Like I'm just an idiot. Like I keep fucking everything up. All of this."
Yeah.
That's your self-talk. So if you change little things, you know, it takes a lot. I mean, it takes a lot of effort, especially if you're like deep into this rut of just like over and over and over beating yourself up. But just taking it very slowly and just sort of changing those like negative things into like neutral things. It's like, I'm such an idiot. It's just like I exist, you know?
Yeah,
Or just instead of just jumping right to switching the negative to a positive, sometimes that can be too much. So
that's
you just
true. Because
switch just to something like it in between.
yeah, I completely understand that because it doesn't have to be like it almost seems like it's like when you when you tell your mom or just anybody like, "Oh, I'm fucking stupid," or like I'm
Mhm.
and your mom will be like, "No, you're not. You're the best whatever." It kind of feels like telling like telling yourself like straight away that like that's not true is hard. It feels like your mom's
Exactly.
talking to you. It feels like bullshit.
Hmm.
You know? But I understand what you're saying, like being able to take something and say like, "Hey, I'm not, terrible, whatever. I might not be great either, but I'm here." You know?
Another that's another concept of mindfulness is that taking things without judgment. You know, so like when you're taking things neutrally like that, you're taking it without judgment, you're taking it without like hatred or like these positive energies attached to it. You're just taking it for what it is. And that's the same thing that you're doing when you're meditating and you're just like in the moment and you're just like, this is what it is, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very like objective way of like of taking and relaying information.
Exactly. I mean, because once you start looking at life that way, it makes it less clouded by our own personal emotions and emotional attachments to things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I was wondering, a little earlier you said that you had some experience in a psych ward. What was that like for you?
Yeah. Twice. It was
I mean, I
I
know
don't know.
I know it wasn't a fucking vacation. Like,
Absolutely not. Yeah. The first time that I went, it was in like sophomore year of high school. Actually, it was right before I came out because that was when I first learned about, you know, I don't know if I want to talk about like identity and sexuality and stuff on
I
the internet
understand,
right now,
but
but I don't know. I met someone there who just sort of really influenced my life in a very like I don't know how I would describe that, but I mean the first experience wasn't that great. You know, it was just a lot of family stuff going on, and
yeah,
you know, trying to keep myself safe. They didn't even agree with the fact that I was there to be safe in the first place. It was a whole big mess.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the second time that I went was 2018, and I went to this really cool mental hospital in like I hate to say Central Jersey because it doesn't exist, but I don't know how else to explain it. But it was like out in the middle, in the middle of nowhere in Jersey, in the mountains, and they had like peacocks,
Oh,
like
that's
just
cool.
roaming around the complex, and it was
That's so
really
cool.
really like a very good experience. I mean, of course, I was surrounded by a bunch of people who were like either experiencing psychosis or like bipolar or like we were all there for our own reasons.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was also in the adult ward, and that was my first time like experiencing sort of like adults with um, mental disorders and disabilities.
Hmm.
Because all the previous times that I had experienced anything, it was always with like adolescents and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, a lot of it I just had to sort of take with a grain of salt because I know that these people are experiencing things that I might not be aware of. And I mean,
Hmm.
it was very difficult to sort of take my time there to heal because there was a lot of stuff going on with my family as well at the time. But
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
I mean, every time that I've been hospitalized, it's always definitely led me in a direction where I'm sort of realizing how much advocating I have to do for myself. You know,
Yeah.
my family was never really accepting of the idea that I even needed help in the first place, because I would be coming to them and I'd be telling them about these issues with mental illness that I was having, and they
And
just didn't want to believe it.
yeah, so it makes you feel invalidated.
Exactly. Not just that, but like there was a time when my mom accused me of being addicted to my antidepressants, because she said like, oh well, you need them every day to, you feel like you need them to function, you feel like you have to take them every day. And I'm like, I take them every day because I was
Because I was
prescribed them
prescribed them to take,
by
them.
a doctor who went to medical school, who knows what he's talking about. I don't know. um,
Yeah, yeah.
so I mean, when it comes to my mental health, there's really no way around it. Like, when it comes to symptoms and stuff, I can't let this get in the way of my life. I can't let it get in the
Yeah,
way of my friends' lives.
absolutely.
Having like panic attacks every single fucking day, like that's not going to be helping anyone in that situation. I have to take that
Especially
initiative.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the most selfish thing, and selfish is always used in a bad connotation, but it's not bad to be selfish. Like we need to be selfish for our, we need to be there for ourselves because we get so caught up in trying to please the pressures of other people, whether it's
exactly.
pressure from our parents, from our friends, from the outside world, that we don't take the time to really just be selfish and do good things for us. And it's like you advocating for yourself. I'm actually glad you brought that up because like while it sucks when nobody's in your corner, at the same time you can't like you like at some point it's like we all learn. Because I mean I dealt with the idea of feeling like why aren't other people um like understanding and helping me, but sometimes you gotta really you gotta realize the cold truth that not everybody's either going to understand you or agree with you, and at the end of the day you can't expect any other person except for you to stick up for you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Absolutely. And I mean, especially when it comes to, I mean, I'm just going to relate it to mental illness because that's the only thing that I really know about. But like,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of people who sort of say that like their mental illness is sort of, they try to pass it off as an excuse for certain behaviors, like being emotionally manipulative or something like that. But
Yeah,
the fact is that no, we didn't really, we weren't given this option to whether or not we wanted to live with like depression or like bipolar disorder or OCD or whatever it is.
yeah,
But it is our responsibility, just because we have it, to make sure that we take care of ourselves and we take care of the people around us who are also affected by it. So it's,
absolutely.
you can't just like let it excuse any of the toxic traits that you want to just pass off and not do any work on.
Yeah, I hate that stuff. And like not even in the sense of like people using their mental illness as an excuse, but people use everything as an excuse to
Hmm.
to be assholes. Like I mean, I've always been the type of person, sure. Like I advocate for therapy and like talking about mental health and being able to have an open discussion about it and being able to be vulnerable with your feelings, but at the same time, if your feelings are making you feel angry or upset or whatever, that sucks, and it's like you have to work on yourself to move through that, but it's
Hmm.
only like up to you. And I think while we should be vulnerable and share things, it's like you can't let your own negativity from that stems from that or from an experience or from anything like affect the people around you. Like I don't think people should be stuffers, but at the same time I think people should like not let their shit fall on other people. Like I've had
Hmm.
some friends who honestly like and I'm just thinking of a specific example, but like never really, you could tell from like, and I guess you can't assume, but you can pretty much assume from the age from birth to age 18 never saw a lick of adversity in their life, and
Hmm.
then one bad thing, not even really that bad on the in the grand scheme of things, happens to them, and when their friends go in to not only just be their friends and hang out with them but comfort them and have a heightened sense of awareness to be like, hey, we're here for you, to see, it's almost, it's like as infuriating as it is to see somebody lash out and be a dick while you're trying to do that, at the same
Hmm.
time you can only really feel like even more upset or sorry for like for them, or maybe not even sorry, I don't want to say sorry for them like, oh, I feel sorry for them, like patronizing. I'm like just being legit sorry for a friend,
Hmm.
because you can tell even though they're being an asshole, that's their way of showing that they're hurting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a friend of mine just broke up with his girlfriend, right? And
Yeah. Same thing that
I mean,
happened with the story I basically just told.
yeah, and I mean, she wasn't a very good person to begin with, but now that like they're broken up, he's like realizing all of these things about her. She's not like anything like she used to be, like that, like she was when they began dating. But the thing is, she's just so obsessed with how people view her, you know, and
Yeah.
she's so obsessed with like putting all this responsibility on other people to make her feel good about herself.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
just not healthy. And then she'll just complain about like, oh well, I barely slept at all last night. It's like, oh, I'm so depressed, like I want to die. And I'm like, I can't help you because I mean, I could call the police for you. I could send you to crisis, but that's not going to help anybody, you
Yeah,
know?
you can't put it on
But
another
like,
person.
if you're not
Like,
going to do anything about it, if you're not advocating for yourself and just like going to,
Isaac, you still with me? Sorry, folks. Looks like we're experiencing some technical difficulties.
I just,
Are you still with me?
I think so.
My
Oh,
bad.
my internet connection is unstable.
Oh shit, son.
Oops.
Um, maybe just make sure that like whatever Wi-Fi you're normally connected to is connected. We seem to be doing fine now.
Yeah, I think it's all right.
But yeah, where were we just now?
I
I
don't
lose my train
remember.
of thought so fucking quickly, man. But you know, it's
Same.
cool because I was actually about to grab some lip balm because I'm fucking over here chapping up my lips like
Oh,
an idiot. I sit here like I'll sit here and just be like those are little things. Like I actually think I'm like my girlfriend thinks that I'm starting to develop a mild form of Tourette syndrome because I have this kind of like almost like a tick where I have this issue in the middle of my back. It's basically just like chronic tightness and
hmm
like whatever. And it's not painful, but it's just like a constant. Like I've learned more to be comfortable with it and like realize that like hey like because sometimes it would make me get so down on my body, but then now I think to myself, like, hey, my body is a well functioning able body and I can do a lot of really cool things. So I not try not to think about it as much, but it's one of those discomforts where like it'll constantly have me doing like this. So a
hmm
million times a day, I'll do this, and I've been starting to like I started incorporating this hand too. So sometimes I'll just be sitting there like talking to somebody, and I'll do like one of these. Like I have like a
hmm
that's my tick. Like I go like this.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I've been trying to break out of that, and I think
hmm
really the whole thing about mindfulness and being present helps me with that because I realize like the whole thing with mental health is that it's kind of like workers on a ship or whatever. It's like if one person doesn't do their job, the whole thing is going to crumble, you know?
Yeah,
So it's like
exactly.
if you don't it's like a garden. Like if you want everything to look nice, like you have to tend to every one thing. If you let one thing go, it's going to trigger a chain reaction and the other
hmm
your other issues are going to start stemming, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
My bad. I'm just going to throw this on real fast. Well, but this shit's so fucking nasty. My girlfriend has been trying to get me to get new chapstick because usually I'll just use like the normal stuff, but this is like
hmm
medicated and like
Ooh.
it's like white, like fucking like sunscreen. So like I'll go to give her a kiss and it's like it tastes like fucking it tastes like formaldehyde, and she gets so fucking mad at me.
That's fucking
Like
nasty.
dude, being in a relationship is so weird. Like this is my first. This is really my first real relationship, and
Mhm.
it's got me in such a fucking like. I mean, it's great. I love her so much, and like we're so like it's actually the first person I ever met that we actually like. I actually feel like I like should be with, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like so like not even like this is like a bad thing, but I'm just like so inexperienced in like the realm of relationships that like I've
Yeah.
learned like it's been just about a year and I've learned so much about myself through her where it's like I know deep down I'm a good person, but like relationships really bring out like the subconscious of you that sometimes you don't want to see. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And then you
exactly.
really you really reflect on the things you do and can see like, hey, that was like maybe you didn't do the worst thing in the world, but like that was some fucked up shit without you even realizing it, you know?
hmm Dude, that's awesome. I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
I mean, I haven't really been in too many relationships overall in my lifetime.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I dated Jamaica in high school, and then I dated I had like some weird relationship with this one girl, and then like ended up being really toxic. I don't even know if I would count that as a relationship. I was more like her side piece almost, because she
Yeah.
had a boyfriend, and like they ended up getting married. That shit's wild.
Damn.
But um And then most recently I just had a boyfriend who lived in New York, and yeah, it just didn't really go that well, so it's
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I mean. Well, they never
I'm
end.
single and ready to mingle.
Yeah, they never end beautifully. But yeah, any singles out there? Hit my boy Isaac up.
Yeah. I mean, I
The
am talking to this one
cute
girl,
as a
but I don't really
button.
want to talk about it because I don't know if I'm actually like talking or what she thinks of any of it. But she's really cute, so
Cool, cool. I hope she
I
hears
love I
this.
love being bi, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Like people like it, you'd be surprised like how many people have that experience, you know what I'm saying? And like
Mhm.
personally, like I'm a like I just know just from previous just knowing what I know, whatever, that I am a heterosexual man, but I remember I had one bisexual experience when I was young, and it's like I still like not even hold on to it like look at it, but
It's
I
like a
don't.
little teddy bear that you just like come
Yeah,
back to every now and again. It's like, oh,
and it's like I used to be
this is
so.
my gay moment.
Yeah, exactly, and like I used to be exactly, and I used to be so afraid to talk about, and I've this is it's funny because I've never actually like I've told some people, but I've never really like announced it, and now I'm announcing it. It feels weird as fuck, but like I'm just being real. I don't even care.
Yeah,
Like I used to feel so much pressure to like not to like be, especially because I am a straight man, so it's like to feel something else because I don't, just because I had that experience I don't necessarily identify as bisexual, just because
hmm,
I know in general like what my preference has always been,
yeah,
but like
exactly.
but at the same time it's like it's good to be able to just like because I've always thought sexuality should be an open thing. Sexuality is a beautiful thing, and like it's like
Absolutely.
it should cover like leaps and bounds. And it's like the people I really envy the people who said in the '60s when they were at Woodstock, just in the mud, like having orgies and shit. Like you don't know where a dick ends and a vagina begins. Like
Yeah.
it's like just shit everywhere, you know. And it's like just to be able to be like open about it. Like obviously people are gonna have their orientations and their preferences, but like you know it's like it's
I mean,
don't be.
it's perfectly natural to do some, just experimentation, just sort of check it off like, okay, yeah, this isn't something that I'm interested in, but I tried it, and I didn't, it wasn't what I wanted. But then you might have another experience and you're like, oh yeah, this is something I'm really into. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
always give or take, like no matter what you're doing. I mean,
Yeah, I
personally, I just like, I'm bi. I mean, I lean quite heavily more towards like the gay side of things, but I do have, feelings for women every now and again. It's a very fluid thing. It's weird.
yeah,
Sexuality is fucking weird.
it's very weird, and
That's all I have to say about it.
it's very like inexplicable. Like it's like, or like I don't even know if I just used that word right because I'm a fucking
Yeah.
idiot, but like it's very like
Well, yeah,
it's
yeah, it's fine.
many
You're
people
good.
have many different ideas of it, you know,
Yeah.
like so many, and it's like anything, like, you're gonna have people who feel like it should be like this like one constructed thing, and then you have like it's just like I just think it should just be not that it isn't already
Hmm.
like wide open in the sense where it's like we put, even like nowadays it's like we put so much emphasis on a sexual orientation. I always thought, do people need to like, even if you feel one way or the other way, it's like, do people need to like even have sexual orientations? It's like people obviously anybody can marry who they want to marry
Well,
nowadays. That hasn't always been a privilege, that hasn't always been a right, which is fucked up. But it's like nowadays it's like, I think, put it this way, in the sense of
mhm.
pride, I think it's important. And I think that because I mean like historically people who aren't heterosexual have been discriminated against for that, and it's like it's important to be for them to be able to represent themselves and like have pride. I guess just the place my argument is coming from is more of just like a, I guess you could say like if that wasn't, if that was never a problem, so I guess it's hypothetical, but like if that was never a problem, it's like why put so much classification on sexual orientation and not just like think of
Well,
sex as like this like as this
my
open
idea,
thing.
my idea on that is that it all comes down to identity. We all just want to be known and people see us for like who we are. I mean, I was talking with my therapist about this the other day, and she was talking about how, like if I didn't have like if okay, so basically we're talking about how our souls are basically like the least important, like our bodies are the least important thing, you know, our
Yeah.
souls are what's most important, and our souls are like, depending on what you believe, like they might be like, I don't know, like a higher being, whatever the fuck. But if your body is the least like if is the least important part, then why does it matter what your covering looks like? And then she was asking me, and she was like, well, personally, like since you've put so much effort into changing things, you know, I'm just gonna fucking talk about it because I'm trans, you know, I'm just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
putting so much effort into changing my physical appearance, even if that doesn't really matter. But like it does matter because it's my personal experience,
And it's
you
your
know.
and it's
It's
your
me
identity.
expressing myself, and it's me showing the rest of the world who I am. It's an expression. It's not just, you know, a covering. It's not like a
Yeah.
disguise. It's more just my skin almost.
It's basically like our bodies are kind of like our art in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like it's about, like you said, it's about expression. Because um and I wasn't necessarily thinking of the whole take the label out of sexual orientation, as in people feeling like they have to be trapped in a skin that they don't want.
Hmm.
More so, I mean, but not even more so, like moving on to this topic, like it really is like, it really does come down to expression, like you said, and like being able to like show like how you want to feel and look. Because like, I guess at the end of the day, it's like, even though our bodies are the least important thing, every other person we meet, the first thing they see is our body and who
Hmm.
we are. And that's how we first show people who we are.
Exactly.
So if you look like someone who you don't feel like you are,
And
of
if people
course
keep
of course
recognize
anyone
you
would want
as
to,
someone else, yeah.
yeah, which is why I think it's fucking crazy. Because I mean, realistically, and I mean, I'm sure you have insight to shed on it too. It doesn't seem like there's really been like much of a push for the transgender community until fairly recently, or like not push, but like advocation or understanding, I
Yeah, I mean,
guess.
can I put a little shameless plug in here? Can
Yeah,
I just
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Plug
Okay,
anything you
so
fucking want. This is a sellout show.
yeah,
This is
it's a
where we whore
sellout.
ourselves out for you to check out our
Um
shit. So
yeah, so I mean it's not my personal shit, but okay, so you remember Carvalho, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so his husband manages my hormone therapy at
Oh no shit.
Jefferson. Yeah,
That's
so he's
awesome.
he's my primary care doctor, right? And he's been working on this project to start a new LGBTQ clinic in Collingswood.
Oh,
And
that's fucking
so
awesome.
back in January, he had me do a patient testimonial thing. So they did the whole professional thing where they had like the cameras and everything and like all the lighting. And I went to like this big corporate building and they interviewed me and all this cool stuff.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
they're trying to raise some more money for the clinic. They're trying to open in June or July. They were trying to shoot for June because Pride, but now with Corona and everything, they're not entirely sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's
But
gonna take time with all this shit.
yeah, but I mean, it's super cool. Like they've got like mental health services, they've got hormone therapy, they've got like an OBGYN for trans men, you know,
Yeah.
like all kinds of really, really cool stuff. I mean, but back to your thing, like the push in like
Well,
for
wait. First of all, before we get back to that, make sure you send me. Do they have a GoFundMe or
yeah, I
anything?
can send you the link for the
Send me all the
donations and stuff for
links,
the
and
website.
anybody listening, I'm gonna throw those right down in the description, and just make sure you click on those and donate.
Yeah, Jeff
Even
Pride.
if you don't have the money to donate, and I know it's a tough time, just share to somebody else who might be able to help,
Yeah.
and help out, man. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I really do think I hate to cut off like
No, it's all good.
your tangent, but like it's fucked up how like I think it's important to start to regulate that into necessary medicine. And sure, I mean, if somebody wants to start their if somebody wants to start their transition or their whatever on a certain day, but somebody is dying in the other room, it's like you're gonna save the dying person first. But
Yeah, of
also
course.
those two things don't even correlate, and some people take that as like, oh, like we're putting this taxpayer money into this, but then this, like, fucking everybody has their,
Exactly.
maybe think of it this way: that's not a problem you ever had to face in your, it's like everybody doesn't give a shit about things when it doesn't happen to them, and that's
Hmm.
just inherently selfish culture. And it's like, while it's important to be selfish in the aspects of taking care of yourself, like you brought up earlier, you like it's important for people, for humans, to be able to empathize with each other and be able to
Exactly.
see and like know, like, I mean, personally, I mean, I never went through a lick of like of the stuff you went through when you were going through high school and all that, but everybody knows what it's like to feel ostracized by people. Everybody knows what it's like to hard to everybody knows what it's like when it feels hard to really be yourself
Mhm.
around a bunch of people who are expecting you to be anything but, you know.
Exactly.
So I mean, I could you know, like, fucking go donate is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Oh man, I forget what I was gonna talk about. I brought up
the
the
push you I brought up the like the
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Um, I mean, you're talking about how it's only coming up recently. I mean, but the thing is, like, it's only coming up recently because people have been sort of brave enough to bring it into the public eye. I mean, we've always been here. We've always been here for like years and years and years. There's
Yeah.
different religions where they talk about like I know a lot of indigenous folk, they talk about two spirit, you know, like people who identify as two spirit, and it's a big part of their spiritual experience. And then there's other people in like India who have like they're like I'm pretty sure that trans women are considered like lucky over there. I'm not
Okay.
positive, but
Yeah, yeah.
we have all these weird concepts of gender, and now we're just sort of like coming to realize all these things about our system that are so broken. We're just sort of realizing like, oh hey, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this gendered? Like, why does this
Yeah.
matter? And like, why does my expression matter? Again, if it's coming back to the same thing, because people are like, oh wait, this isn't a bad thing. Like when I first, okay, so when I was in the psych ward, the person that I met was the first trans person that I ever met. And that was
Yeah, yeah.
important for me because I had never even had a word to describe anyone who felt that
Who
way. You know, like
yeah.
it wasn't an immediate click. You know, it was just, oh, okay, these people exist and it's okay. And this person's pretty cool. Like I got to know them. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
later on down the line, I started to put things together, and I was like, oh, wait a second, this might apply to me. I was like, oh shit, this might apply to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But I mean, that must have felt like a that must have felt like a revelation for you, because like not knowing that, you know, beforehand, and
yeah.
like being able to like being like, obviously there's a whole journey ahead of that moment, but like being able to find being able to know that something applies to you and that something clicks is like such a huge moment, because you feel like you can breathe now, you
Mhm.
know, like you feel like you have like that a little bit of clarity.
I mean, it's definitely terrifying though. I think that's another reason why we were never in the media that much, is because just the idea of coming out and is terrifying. You know, you
Yeah,
never know how people are going to receive it. You never know if people that you're extremely close to are just going to completely abandon you as a friend or like as a loved one.
yeah,
Um, like for one thing, you don't know how you're going to be received. Two, for some people it's a lot more easy for them to pass as the gender that they identify with as it is than it is for other people, like say trans women for instance. If they didn't have access to puberty blockers or like hormone blockers as a kid, you know,
yeah.
they're going to develop a deeper voice, and that's something that's very very difficult to get rid
To
of with
shake,
voice
yeah.
training. So, you know, they have a much higher risk of being sort of quote unquote found out, which, and nobody's ever lying about their identity. it,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it just puts them more at risk of these hate crimes, because people will say like, oh well, this person doesn't identify the way that I'm used to seeing people identify. This is different. I don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
want it, you know.
That's such a crazy like concept for people, like to involve themselves, like, I mean, it relates back to racism, to everything, like
Hmm.
to involve yourself in somebody else's life and make it worse, and you don't even know them. It's just about who they are in essence, and it really reflects the people who those people are,
Hmm.
because like who the fuck would do that, like I and it's like I hate when people say like, you know, when you hear just like the typical like older like middle class dad, he'll be like he thinks he's like woke, he's like they can fuck he's like yeah, they can do whatever they want. I'm not saying I whatever with it, but it's fine, like even though that guy is still like fucking like, whatever, it like it at least that person is like accepting of like human to human, like
Mhm.
like somebody like that, or just who like
It's better than flat out hatred.
yeah. And it's like people put it this way, it's like not everybody is going to, especially, and you can't always blame somebody, like if somebody's being that way, you can't always blame them for straight just being inconsiderate or whatever, because
Mhm.
depending on the way they were brought up,
They might just
uh
be ignorant,
yeah,
like straight
like
out flat, complete,
straight
like.
ignorant, yeah. And it's like ignorant isn't always like doesn't, because I feel like people like to pair ignorant and and mean, and it's not always
No.
the same thing. Just
Sometimes people are just like genuinely, they're not educated on the
unknowledgeable,
subject,
yeah.
like they just don't understand.
Yeah, but the fact that somebody, while even if they are ignorant, could still, because I felt, for example, I feel like that's kind of been my standpoint, because I'm a white heterosexual man, and I love to fucking spew my mouth. Like I say fucked up shit one like every day, because like I don't even, half the time I'm not even like think like, and I'm not saying straight fucked up shit, but it's like I like to look at things from different angles, and I like to play devil's advocate, so it gets me into like saying things where it's like people would be like, why would you even like bring up a conversation like that? But it's like, I think you should be able to have an open discourse, but at the same time have empathy for humans. And like there's a difference between bringing up and questioning something, or talking about something, and being, and just being straight like not accepting of it, if that makes sense. I don't really know
Hmm.
if I'm making sense over here,
Yeah,
but
no, I got you 100%. I mean, I don't know. I have a problem with playing devil's advocate because I feel like a lot of the time you're just like fantasizing about things that shouldn't be fantasized to begin with. But that it
yeah.
depends on what you're talking about, but like I don't know. It's
I
just a lot.
Yeah, I understand. It opens up a vast um, variety of possibility and hypotheticals, and
Mm,
it's funny. Like when I remember being in school, and like we kind of talked about this earlier, but like I was the type. I mean, you remember me. Like, I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn, but if I can just get my mouth going, I can take over a room like that
yeah,
quick.
for real.
So like I would just love like I feel like that's really why I started doing this podcasting shit, and like got into like radio and like
Hmm.
comedy, things like that, because I love talking, and I love
Hmm.
having just having interaction with people. And like I feel like I would open up a discourse, and it's like, sure, like I don't want to, because I mean just being real, like you remember when we were in school, especially when the election was going on, it was very
Hmm.
like it was very volatile. It was like a very volatile like tension full type of like energy,
Yeah.
like coming off of both sides. Like there was like I think like honestly, I think there was more of this kind of super like left appropriation, and then there was like the resistance of just like ignorant like Trump wearing just fucking just dipshits. But
Hmm.
I don't think, like I just but at the same, while I didn't agree with anything that any of those people were saying, at the same time I felt weird to be like, if I say one thing that somebody doesn't see as right, it's like or correct or whatever, or I bring up a point and try to question something. And same whether we're talking about ideals with other students, or whether we're talking about concepts with teachers. It's like things couldn't be like, I hate when somebody tries to put my ideas in a box. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And like,
But I feel like when it came, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
But when it came to the election, when I think about it and I think about that day coming into Team Pep, I just I just felt grief, and I feel like
Yeah,
at that point when it came to certain people's morals and ideas that they were fighting for, it felt like a loss. It felt like a really great loss, and it wasn't necessarily the time for anyone to sort of be shoving anyone and anything in anyone's faces. It was more of just a
absolutely.
time to sort of reflect, and it wasn't necessarily the time for those kinds of debates,
Yeah,
because there was
I completely agree.
it definitely affected a lot of people's lives in a very dramatic way.
Absolutely. And like I wasn't necessarily trying to like to bring up just like discourse while all that was going on, but I was just relating
Yeah,
to
no,
the to that day because I remember coming in and feeling not really feeling much of anything from either side because like as much as I know like as much as a somber day I know that was for some, and for
mhm,
some in their minds it was a great day because their fucking side won, like, or whatever. Like
yeah,
I personally was like I it's like kind of comes back to the moment thing, is like I'm living in the real world, which is my real world right here, you know,
mhm,
like on like a micro scale. And like that was like while that did like while that was a punch in the gut for a lot of people, and like real like, you know, people who
mhm,
are fighting for their ideals and whatever, it was one of those things where it's like I felt like, not from everybody but certain people, I was getting pressure. Like it's almost like if you don't look sad, people will like be like, what's wrong with you, are you fucking like like, you know,
yeah,
I'm just like, what, like I'm just thinking, I'm like, we're all right here, like just
mhm,
live with us right here. And it's like I know it sucks, it's a fucking punch in the gut, it if that's not if that's not like, because you know, if like everybody, whether what you believe or not, everybody on the one side doesn't like anything about the person on the other side, and vice versa. So like to see like I'm losing my fucking mind
no,
over
it's
here,
okay. I
but
mean,
like
I think also I'm not saying that like I'm also losing my mind.
it's okay, it's
Fucking,
okay.
it's also a matter of perspective because I mean, you like y- you're saying that you didn't really feel that much when you walked into school that day, and I felt something quite heavy, and it's really a matter of how you look at it and from what experiences you're working with, you know.
Absolutely. And also where you're like where some people get to not care about politics,
Exactly.
some people have to involve. And I personally know, sure, I mean, like I still have to care in certain aspects. I mean, I'm certainly not in any of the higher tax brackets, you know. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
kind of living in poverty, like not poverty, but like poverty, like,
Yeah.
but like at the same time I understand that I don't have to worry about a million external factors that other people
Hmm.
might have to worry about, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, it's all just looking at things through different glasses, you know, just thinking about all these different people and what they've experienced and
Yeah,
just trying
absolutely.
to be empathetic. It also comes back to empathy and just that learned thing of caring about what other people, how other people
Yeah.
feel about certain things.
You know what I think it really is, like where it comes down to like the bone I had to pick with that. It wasn't being like, oh, I don't feel upset, so I'm like, why are people like looking at me to like whatever. It wasn't even that. I think it was more um certain people where you feel like they're really advocating for a cause or for a right, and certain people that are acting a certain way for a status, you know, or
Hmm.
for their own self, like they want that warm feeling to be like,
Exactly.
I'm a good person, like
Yeah.
that shit. And it's like you can't prove it, so it's like you can't really like accuse people of that, but that shit fucking ticks me off to the top. Like I hate people that stand on a hill, or like are on a high horse, or like fucking, you know, like just and it's like people try to like, even if they act like really humble, like or whatever, like I just can't stand when people are in things for the wrong reasons. It fucking
Mhm.
boils my blood. And it's like, even if they are like making a positive impact, that's still great, I suppose. But it's like to see people do things for not the right reasons just really fucking ticks me off, especially when they try to make when they try to like involve other people and being like, what are you doing, like blah blah blah, like you're like, I that just fucking like put it like any. And it's like, sure, there's a million rich white girls out there that are advocating for real shit, but there's a million rich white girls out there that could put any, and I'm just using rich white girls as an example, like
Mhm.
could put any like any ideal, any bullshit, anything, whatever, on their social media, talk about it, whatever, blah blah blah. Maybe they actually go out and really do that and like help people, but most of the time they don't. It's just what they're putting on Instagram and talking about it. And it's like we can't all be fucking political advocates, but at the same time it's like don't like it's like I just fucking can't stand that where people act like they're so in it, but really they're so out of touch with reality
Hmm.
that it's like people who like at the end of the day, I've always felt real with experience. Like I haven't really talked about this with many people, but after my career, my accolades, once I'm like older in like say 40s, 50s or whatever, a big a big dream and a hope of mine actually is to open a like psychology ward for specifically for children of going through like split families and
Hmm.
like like coming up in like hard home life and things like that. And like
Hell
I
yeah, man.
I forget where I was going with. Oh yeah, like coming back to experience. Like as much as put it this way, it's like as important as I think education is, especially in terms of psychology and like learning about the mind and why it works and what things do. It's like when I eventually work hard enough to be able to start that and like open that, I want people who have gone through shit. I want
Hmm.
people who know from experience. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I want a kid who's going through shit, who's say his parents divorced or they threw him out, they're not accepting him, he's going through bullshit, whatever. I want him to be able to sit down and really learn from a person who has experienced those same things. Because like same thing with college professors, sometimes you'll sit down and like you'll be in a business class and you'll ask the guy, have you ever started a business? And they'll say no. It's like, what the fuck are you sitting here listening to this fucking guy? He's just spitting shit
Hmm.
out of a book. Like you're not really learning from experience. And
Yeah.
like that's the thing that really ticks me off is people who speak on something that even if what they're saying like they really feel and know that it is right, if you don't have experience in it, how can you really how can where you really get a say in the discourse? Because like you're so out of touch with the reality of what you're speaking about that
Hmm.
it's like how could your opinion really be like trusted? And how and where do you get off acting like more than maybe people who have been through or have been living through it? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, I feel like that also relates to like I saw like some sort of, I guess it was like a Twitter post or a Tumblr post or something about how it shouldn't really be allowed for like people to say someone who isn't African American to be teaching an African American studies class. Like they
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
shit. There's plenty of people who do know shit about it and they who should be the primary source for that information rather than say someone who just like read a lot about it. They don't have that
yeah.
same
There's a
experience.
difference between like learning and living, really.
Exactly.
Like learning is great and you can gain a lot out of valuable education. And maybe somebody, for example, who wasn't African American but learned a lot could teach somebody about it, could teach
Yeah.
people something about it.
Oh, for
But
sure.
to
But like
have
they shouldn't be
somebody
the primary source of that
Yeah, and to
information.
have yeah, exactly, and to have somebody who really understands like what it's like to go through that. It comes down to empathy, because you can't really empathize with somebody unless you can really put yourself in their shoes. Otherwise, you're
Hmm.
sympathizing.
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
like I've always thought of that where like if I end up, and I plan to like start that venture, like I want people to be able to sit down with kids that have gone through this shit, and
Hmm.
like really give them a perspective of like of why it's going to be okay, not just telling them because
Yeah,
you're supposed to.
exactly.
And I think that's a really important you know thing to do.
For
But
sure.
damn, I mean, this is a good time to wrap if you're
Yeah, I'm
feeling it.
getting kind of tired.
Yeah,
I'm not
same.
gonna lie.
But yo, thank you so much for coming. You're always
Thank
welcome
you for
back.
having me.
Hopefully when this coronavirus shit is over and like we can go out again, like if you like want to come do it in person, you know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah.
Smoke a
If you
little
ever want to
juice.
skate or something,
That'd be fucking yeah, that'd be cool. Fuck.
yeah, I want to hit up a skate park as soon as Corona's over. I'm hitting up all the skate parks. I'm gonna use my Trump bucks to buy a car. Just have a
Nice.
have a good old time.
Do you still live near the near like your old neighborhood?
Nah, I'm more towards like Lewis now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, I know they have like the little hockey rink in there.
Nah, yeah, I wish. But
Yeah, I got you.
I don't have any hockey sticks or anything anymore either.
Oh shit. Well, I
I
mean,
miss
I got
hockey.
hockey's fun. Hockey's the best. I mean, I'm
Fuck yeah.
biased, but but
I do love hockey.
hockey's one of the greatest sports on the planet, man.
Hell yeah.
People underestimate it, but yeah, thank you so much for coming on. If you have anything you want to plug, like Instagrams, anything like that, feel free.
Um, yeah, Instagram, Isaac Joseph JPEG or isaacjoseph.exe is my personal one. I think that's it. That's all I can think of right now. I'm trying to come up with a brand name for my skateboarding stuff. You know, like the skate deck designs that I'm coming out with in the magazine or whatever. I was gonna
Yeah,
go with Solo, but turns out there's already a Solo skate mag, so I got to come up with something else. Back to the drawing board.
yeah. You want it to be something. Try to. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess just thinking, just practically, like, try to stay away from, even if it seems catchy, try to stay away from like the cliche. When you think of something and it's like something nobody else has ever, just how
True.
crazy it is. No one else has ever thought of it. Even if you think, oh, that's stupid, still write that shit down.
Yeah.
Like keep those ideas
I just
out
got like a
because
notebook of stuff. Like I'm
yeah,
trying to come up with a name. I don't. It's hard.
maybe before you come up with a name, come up with a logo. You know what I'm
True. I mean,
saying?
I've been working on some logos, but that was back when I was going to go with Solo, and then I decided, I should probably Google search for this, and it's like,
Yeah. Maybe, but instead of like writing the name and then coming up with the logo, maybe try doing the logo first and just seeing, like, look at it, and just when you really have something, a design you like, think of what applies with that. You know what I'm saying?
true. That's very
Yeah.
true.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man.
This has been a great
Anytime.
show. Absolutely, yeah. You fucking hold a great conversation. I've been
Yeah.
looking for someone to talk about deep. I've been talking about deeper shit the past
Yeah.
few episodes, and I've been just looking for just interesting fucking friends I have, and like I'm like I gotta hit up
I'm glad that
Isaac.
you considered me interesting enough.
Yeah, dude, you're one of the fucking coolest people I know. I'm not
I do
even capping.
appreciate it.
Like, just
Right
to
back
know
at you,
somebody
bro.
with, like, there's so many people out there with bullshit stories. To meet somebody with a real story, it's like
Yeah.
inspiring. So yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
Thank you
man.
so much for coming on. For everybody that's listening, that's still listening, first of all, I just want to say thank you. Second of all, make sure that you like, subscribe, follow all the platforms. If you look down here below, there's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Make sure you follow. There's a new Instagram page specifically for the
Ooh.
podcast called Eggcast with John Egger, all one word. My personal Instagram is John__Egger because some fucking douchebag has John_Egger. But I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm just playing. But yeah, you can follow that. It has if you just search up Eggcast with John Egger on Twitter, you'll find it there. But it's also down below. The Facebook page is down below. And yeah, just make sure, this quarantine shit is tough. And like you said earlier, Isaac, in the episode, if we let ourselves decline, we're gonna fucking landslide. So we got to keep ourselves positive. For a lot of people,
Absolutely.
this is really, like, especially people who are so immersed in, like, whether it's their job or whatever. If you're stuck inside now, it's like you might feel like you have no direction. But you know what? First of all, even if you don't, fucking chill a little bit, like, relax. Like, it's fine to just be. We get so worried about doing. Just be a
Just
little bit, and
let
then
yourself exist.
yeah, exactly. And then when you get really fucking bored, if you really want to do something, do it. If you've been talking about something and keep putting it off, now is the time to do it, because we brought this up in a few episodes ago. With time, you lose excuses. So, like, if you got all this fucking time and you keep talking about you want to do this shit, it's like, now is the time to try it. Now is the time to really step on the gas and fucking get shit going. So, for those of you listening, like, I trust you people. I love you. I know y'all are going to take good care of yourselves. There's actually another cool thing, Isaac. I'll definitely make sure to give you one. I have Eggcast stickers coming in.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna put it on my skateboard.
yeah. I got stickers coming in. I want to do a T-shirt. I designed it, but they're just too fucking expensive, man.
They're
Like,
so
I
expensive, dude.
at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy like 12 T-shirts, give them to my friends for free. Like, it'll be fine. And then I
Yeah.
saw like how fucking much they were per shirt, and I was like, what the fuck? So, like, I might do
Dude,
some shopping around.
if I manage to get this skateboard company thing shit off the ground, then it's gonna be like the boards themselves are 55 each. I'm only making 10 off of them.
Yeah.
So it's
In the
like,
beginning, it's just about getting your name out, you know?
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get the t-shirts in
hell
work,
yeah.
start getting some merch going. But yeah, stickers will be out. I'll probably give some away to just like the people I'm close with. Otherwise, I'll probably have them up for a price online, but it's gonna be very small. And also, I don't want any of y'all to think that I'm putting this money in my pocket and spending it on blowing hookers. Every cent I make from this show until it really really takes off is going right back into this show. So like I want to bring you guys good content. I want to have better equipment, better cameras. I want to be able to, pay other people to help me produce more with this and just bring you guys the best fucking show I can bring you. But
Support my boy.
what's
Am
that?
I up? Am I up there? Or are you up there or down
I'm
there?
I'm down here. I'm
You're
down
down
here.
there. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
support him. Support
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, for everybody out there, just peace and love. Stay chilling, stay blazing if you're blazing, stay drinking if you're drinking, but fucking hold the juice. You know what I'm saying? Like be easy on it.
Hold
But
it.
yeah, just stay focused on the things you want to do. It's like do 3 things every day. Make your fucking bed. I'm always a big proprietor. Making your bed. Actually, it's not made
I
right
never
now.
make my bed ever.
Yeah. The first thing people talk about this cliche fucking YouTube video, but it's true. First thing you should do in the morning is make your bed because you just start doing a bunch of shit. But for example, I barely did shit today, which is fine. But like,
Mm,
but my bed is a big plethora of fucking mess. But
yeah.
make your fucking bed before you go to bed. Have your little notebook. Write down the 3 things you want to do the next morning.
Or 3 things you're grateful for.
3 things I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my freedom or the freedom I still
God
have
bless America.
as an American citizen. American citizen. I'm
Oh
grateful for
no.
I'm grateful for
No. What happened?
wrong. Oh, is it cutting out? But I'm grateful for my family. Am I grateful for my family? I don't even fucking know. I am, but at the same time, it's like what even I think of them more as my people because like what is like the concept of like a
Okay,
family
you're
has
back.
been yeah. Oh, sweet,
Oh, you
sweet.
disconnected for a minute.
Oh, that's all good. I was saying my second thing was my family, but at the same time, I don't know if I really do feel like I feel grateful for my clan, my people, but I don't really look at it as a family because the whole dynamic of a family for me was completely skewed when I was like 7, 8
Yeah.
years old, and it's like now I feel like just this looming pressure of like what and it's like I don't think I don't think a family takes one form or one shape,
No,
like
not at all.
and it's not family isn't always blood, so I'm grateful
A
for my
family could be 7 dads and no kids.
yeah.
Like,
Exactly. Exactly, but yeah, like I'm grateful for, and when I say family I just mean all the people I got, like, and really that's all we have at the end of the day, but it's like I'm grateful for my freedom, my family, my people, and really myself, because like
mm,
it's we put so much focus on these other things. Like I'm grateful to be able to like have, because I mean we all have shortcomings and setbacks and things that fuck us up, but we don't take the time to like. I feel like it's like we get so immersed in those things sometimes we don't take the time to look at the things and the talents we do have, and be
mm,
grateful because no matter how much you might think that somebody's better than you or somebody has it better than you, blah blah blah, chances are you have something or you can do something or blah 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 that they could never do that they would give anything for, so you
mm.
just have to be grateful for what you have. And it's like if you feel like you're lacking in areas or you want to change things, put yourself around people who are proficient in those things or have experience in those things, just connect with other people. Love, at the end of the day, love's all we got. I really am a big proprietor of that. I don't give a fuck how much you get caught up in X, Y, or Z. Love and people are the biggest thing we have at the end of the day.
Hell yeah.
And that love starts with yourself, so if I really had to say the third and final thing I'm grateful for, it's being able to love myself. And it's hard. We all have love-hate relationships with ourselves, but
Mm,
it's like you got to be grateful because it's like we still have, even we're never going to figure it all the way out, but we have a chance to make things feel right, and some people never get to find that chance. You know,
Yeah,
some people die, but
absolutely.
some people die before they can really achieve that. So even if you're not there yet, even if you're far from it, be grateful that you're still here and you still have that chance. You know, because
Mm.
the rest of your days are up to you if you really let them. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
got you.
But yeah, I think that's a great note to end on. Isaac, thank you so much for coming. You
No
know you're always
problem, dude.
welcome back, homie. This has been a fucking awesome show. And yeah, peace and love. Adios. See y'all probably Wednesday or next. I think this is gonna come out on a Sunday, so probably Wednesday or Thursday, sometime later in the week. And yeah, just make sure you like and subscribe. Stay up to date on all the platforms, and yeah, peace.
Hell yeah.